So the march past of veterans steps off, led by the band of the Coldstream Guards, who are followed by the Royal British Legion Board of Trustees. And they're followed, as we heard earlier from Sophie, by a group of World War II veterans in the position of honour, leading the way past the Cenotaph. Chindits and the Commando Association with their coveted green berets. Normandy Trust, founded in 1994 on the 50th anniversary of the Normandy landings. Some of those veterans who we heard talking with Sophie earlier on this morning. World War II veteran Sid Machin. As the Chindit Society, Chindit 77th Brigade, specially trained troops who fought behind Japanese lines in the Burma campaign in World War II. National Malaya and Borneo Veterans Association brings together those who served in Malaya, Borneo, Singapore and Brunei during the Second World War, the Malayan emergency and thereafter. Corps of Commissionaires, security company founded in 1859 by Sir Edward Walter to give employment to service personnel returning from the Crimean War. The MERT Club, the Medical Emergency Response Team. Organisation for those who served in MERT teams in all three services in Afghanistan between 2006 and 2014. Medical teams flying to collect from point of injury, often in challenging conditions. Team UK Invictus alumni. The Invictus Games will be in Birmingham in 2027. Games offering a pathway for international wounded, injured and sick servicemen and women. Yemen Warders of the Tower of London, the Trucial Aman Scouts Association and the Armed Forces and Veterans Breakfast Clubs marching in this part of the parade this morning. The Norfolk and Suffolk Foundation Trust Veterans Wellbeing Support Group and the Devon and Cornwall Armed Forces Veterans Club past the Cenotaph. The South Atlantic Medal Association. South Atlantic Medal, the official name of the medal awarded to those who liberated the Falkland Islands. 100 plus South Atlantic Medal Association veterans on parade today. UK-Afghanistan veterans community with their distinctive desert shimmer scarves, led by General Sir Patrick Sanders. UK-Afghanistan veterans community represents the 150,000 UK Armed Forces personnel who served over the 20-year campaign in Afghanistan. Behind them, the Aden Veterans Association. Aden today in Yemen, it was a key port equidistant to Suez Canal, Mumbai and Zanzibar, under British control from the 1830s until the 1960s. Sight Veterans Scotland, formerly the Scottish War-Blinded charity. It was formed in 1915. 2 guide dogs marching in their number today. War Veterans of the Czech Republic. Tomáš Šláma, their leader, includes veterans of foreign operations of the Czech army and participating in peacekeeping humanitarian military operations in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Bosnia, and in other theatres of operation. Jaguar Land Rover Armed Forces Community Network. Emergency employee resource group made up of global veterans, reservists, cadet force, adult volunteers, military family members. Star Association, the Monte Casino Association marching in this part of the parade as well. Veterans of the Allied invasion of Sicily, the battles of Monte Cassino and Anzio, and the offensive of spring 1945. Milan Volunteers Group, Milan Volunteer Forces, originated in 1854 with the establishment of the Singapore Volunteer Rifle Corps. Casevac Club, formed in 2017. Casevac, military phrase for casualty evacuation. Part of the Casevac Club's remit is to help with research into the unique injuries carried by members of the club and use that to help the advancement of medical science. BLESMA, the British Limbless Ex-Servicemen's Association, founded in the aftermath of the First World War. For veterans, the Royal Star and Garter homes, founded originally in Richmond, now in Solihull, High Wycombe and Surbiton, and the Royal Hospital Chelsea. You can see them there in the background with their distinctive scarlet tunics and tricorn hats. Combat Stress, also represented in this column of the parade. Pensioners, British Army veterans who live at the Royal Hospital, founded by King Charles II to provide a home for the relief of veterans broken by age or war. They surrender their army pension in return for board and lodging. The Royal Naval Association now. Nearly 100 representatives of the Royal Naval Association. As we said earlier on, this year marks its 75th anniversary. 240 branches across the UK. The Royal Fleet Auxiliary Association. RFA ships serve in all war and peace and disaster relief theatres around the world, supporting not just the Navy, but the Army and the RAF as well. HMS Ganges Association. HMS Ganges was a training establishment for naval applicants who joined at the age of 15. They learned skills there before joining the adult service. HMS Ganges in operation from 1905 until 1976, based at Shotley in Suffolk. And behind them, the Royal Navy Physical Training Branch Association, physical trainers in the Navy trace back to 1888, when the Admiralty introduced gymnastics instructors who kept crews fit through boxing, gymnastics and club and swinging, hence their nickname. They're known as the clubs within the Royal Navy today. Behind them, the Mine Warfare Association, the Royal Marines Association, and the Association of Wrens, the Women's Royal Naval Service, formed in 1917. Over 6,000 women undertook a variety of duties in the First World War, including cooks, writers, telephonists, stores and other shore-based jobs. Disbanded in 1919, reformed in 1939. 1993, the Women's Royal Naval Service integrated fully into the Royal Navy, with women able to serve on HM ships at sea. The Merchant Navy Association, its wreath of white anchor, represents the 50,000 merchant seafarers who have no grave but the sea. The Merchant Navy flag is the only civilian flag that hangs on the Cenotaph. It was Winston Churchill who described the Merchant Navy as Britain's fourth service. The Fleet Air Arm Association and the Fleet Air Arm Aircraft Handlers Association march past the Cenotaph. The Royal Navy Medical Branch Ratings, the Royal Navy Clearance Divers Association have also passed. The Royal Navy Seaman Specialist Association, Navy Safety Equipment and Survival Association, Photographers Association passing, and the Ton Class Association. The King, when he was Prince of Wales, was captain of HMS Bronnington, one of the ton classes, named after villages and towns in the UK whose names ended in ton. Upton, Blessington, Nelson, amongst other examples. Type 42 Association, Type 21 Association, and County Class Destroyer Association. The HMS Glasgow and HMS Exeter Associations. The HMS Broadsword Association. After HMS Coventry was bombed in the Falklands in 1982, Broadsword rescued some 170 crew from the Coventry, although she herself had suffered bomb damage in the same attack. Glarac Association, that represents HMS Glorious, Ardent and Acasta. HMS Glorious was one of Britain's largest and fastest aircraft carriers. Sunk in 1940 along with her escorting destroyers. The HMS Bulwark, Albion and Centaur Association, HMS Hermes Association, the Ark Royal Association, the illustrious Tiger and Blake Associations too, all marching by. The Ark Royal in World War II was sunk by a German U-boat near Gibraltar in November 1941. Later, another Ark Royal was an Invincible class light aircraft carrier, decommissioned in 2011. And you can hear the Army, the Navy and the Air Force, that popular tune played by the mass bands as the HMS Blake Association passes by. HMS Ajax and River Plate Veterans Association, associations for HMS Lowestoft, HMS Plymouth, HMS Andromeda, HMS Argonaut, Ariadne, Scylla, Jupiter, Penelope, all represented on parade today. Ariadne and Scylla, both Leander-class naval frigates. Representatives too from the Royal Naval Benevolent Trust, the Tribal Class Frigate Association, 7 frigates built for the Navy in the 50s and 60s, including HMS Ashanti, HMS Gurkha and HMS Zulu. The HMS Intrepid Association, and individuals who served in the Navy who are marching independently on this Remembrance Sunday. Now we move into the Army Infantry column next, led by the Coldstream Guards Association, the Parachute Regimental Association, The Fraserburgh, Macduff and North East Gordon Highlanders Association there. Approximately 50,000 Gordon Highlanders served in the First World War. They were awarded 65 new battle honours, suffered 9,000 casualties. We've also seen associations from the Durham Light Infantry and the Scots Guards and the Green Howards, regiment raised at Dunster Castle in Somerset back in 1688. Royal Welsh Comrades Association, the Irish Guards Association, the Republic of Ireland branch. Many of the Irish Guards soldiers drawn from across the Irish Republic, as well as Northern Ireland. Queen's Own Highlanders Regimental Association and the Welsh Guards Association, with their Glengarry cap with its distinctive red and white dicing. The Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders, who boast having the largest cap badge in the British Army. Just ahead of them we saw the Cameronians, the Scottish Rifles Association and the London Irish Rifles Regimental Association. Behind the Argyll and Sutherland Highlanders, the London Scottish Regimental Association, 1st TA Infantry Battalion to see action in the First World War on Messines Ridge in October 1914. Saw action in Sicily and on the Italian mainland during World War II. Coldstream Guards Association. Coldstream Guards this year celebrating the 375th anniversary of its formation. Behind them, the Maroon Berets of the Guards Parachute Association. The Guards, followed by the Parachute Regimental Association. Maroon Berets, members on parade, have service in Aden, Borneo, Northern Ireland, the Falklands, Sierra Leone, Macedonia, Iraq and Afghanistan between them. Parachute Regimental Association formed at the end of World War II to maintain the close bonds and camaraderie established in wartime. The Guards Parachute Company. All 7 regiments of the Household Division have had guardsmen serving in the airborne forces since World War II. To this day, guardsmen continue to serve currently in the 3rd Battalion of the Parachute Regiment. In front of them, the Rifles Regimental Association. Green Jackets Association. Thrift and bold, the Green Jackets motto. Behind them, the East Surrey Reunion Association. Over 100 marching with them today. The Surrey Regiment, an infantry regiment, saw 187 killed in Malaya during the Second World War in its 2nd Battalion. And 149 of that battalion died in Japanese prisoner of war camps. The Royal Regiment of Scotland. King's Own Yorkshire Light Infantry and Rifles Regimental Association. Chelsea pensioners take their salute. Duke of Edinburgh on the dais, John Healey, the Secretary of State for Defence, on his right. The Queen's Regiment, Senior English Line Infantry Regiment, formed in 1966 from the amalgamation of the county regiments of Surrey, Kent, Sussex and Middlesex. In front of them, 1st Battalion King's Own Royal Border Regiment, and the Black Watch Association London branch. The Cheshire Regiment Association. The oak leaf in their headdress stems from the Battle of Dettingen in 1743, when a detachment beat off French cavalry when they attacked King George II as he stood under an oak tree. George plucked a leaf and gave it to the detachment, telling them to wear it in commemoration of their gallant conduct. And wear it they still do to this day. In front of the Cheshire Regimental Association, the Prince of Wales' own West and East Yorkshire Regimental Association, the Royal Hampshire Regiment Association, and the Black Watch Association London branch. Staffordshire Regiment, Combined Irish Regiments Association, and the Ulster Defence Regiment. Retrospectively awarded the Conspicuous Gallantry Cross in 2006. The Gurkhas now, the Gurkha Brigade Association, first Gurkhas we're seeing, largely made up of British Gurkha officers. The Gurkhas considered by 19th century military leaders as being naturally warlike and aggressive in battle. That's the British Gurkha Welfare Society, passing now, about 50 marching from it today. The Royal Army Medical Corps Association in front of the Gurkhas, celebrating its centenary this year. Royal Army Medical Corps existed as a standalone corps until 2024, when it became part of the Royal Army Medical Service. Also incorporates army dentists and nurses. We saw the Royal Army Pay Corps Regimental Association march past, the regimental home headquarters of the 1st Queen's Dragoon Guards, the Glider Pilot Regiment Society, home headquarters of the Royal Dragoon Guards, home headquarters of the Royal Scots Dragoon Guards, Scotland's most senior and only regular cavalry regiment. Army Catering Corps past, Royal Signals Association, the Reconnaissance Corps Association. Now we see the Northern Ireland Veterans Association. And the Hong Kong Military Service Corps veterans, 1,200 served in the Hong Kong Military Service Corps at its height. Locally enlisted soldiers. The regiment disbanded in 1997 when Hong Kong was handed to China. Royal Pioneer Corps Association coming into shot now. Pioneer Corps formed in 1939, became the largest corps in the army. Heavily involved in the Normandy campaign, pioneers laying the first 500 miles of the Pluto fuel line to support troops in Germany. REME, the Corps of Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers. Marshal Montgomery formed REME, stating that it would keep the punch in the army's fist. The Royal Veterinary Corps have also passed, the Royal Army Service Corps and the Women's Royal Army Corps Association. WRAC Corps Association, the sole female-only army service organisation. The Association of Ammunition Technicians, front there, ammunition technicians responsible for explosive safety within the armed forces. the Royal Engineers Association, the Sappers, named Sappers because trenches and tunnels that were dug towards an enemy fortification were known as saps. Abique is their motto, which means everywhere. They recently donated £1 million to the RBLI village in Aylesford in Kent to build Sapper House for the rehabilitation of veterans. The Royal Army Dental Corps Association, founded in 1921 due to a lack of dentists to treat soldiers in the field. Queen Alexandra's Royal Army Nursing Corps Association, QAs, friendship is their motto. Until 1992 they consisted entirely of women, after which men were allowed into the corps. The ever-growing field of wreaths in front of the Cenotaph here on Whitehall this Sunday morning. Edinburgh, Colonel of the Scots Guards, also Colonel of the London Guards and Colonel-in-Chief of the Royal Dragoon Guards and the Queen's Royal Hussars. The Arborfield Old Boys Association, Army apprentices who studied at the Army Technical School in Berkshire between 1939 and 2004. They learnt their trades there in a 3-year apprenticeship before joining REME. The Army Air Corps, front of the screen, the combat aviation arm of the British Army with their distinctive pale blue berets. Behind them, the 7th Regiment Army Air Corps Volunteers Association and the Royal Army Ordnance Corps Association. Special Observers Association, Parachute Squadron, Royal Armoured Corps, King's Royal Hussars Regimental Association and 3rd Regiment Royal Horse Artillery Past and Present Members Association have also marched past. With their green berets, the Intelligence Corps Association. Intelligence Corps, the first large-scale British Army intelligence unit, was introduced during the Boer War. They were disbanded after the First World War, but returned in 1940, playing a significant role in breaking the German code machine Enigma. Ever more important today are the Intelligence Corps. Behind them, the Royal Army Physical Training Corps, headquartered at Aldershot. And the Beachley Old Boys Association, another Army apprentice college, based at Beachley Camp in Chepstow, closed in 1994. Some 16,500 apprentices entered its doors. Royal Military Police Association with their distinctive red caps. And in front of them, the Military Provost Staff Association, who maintains secure custodial environments supporting the service justice system. Royal Military Police providing indispensable service wherever British troops serve. In 1946, George VI gave them the prefix Royal to their name. The Queen's Royal Lancers Old Comrades Association. Front of them, the Adjutant General's Corps Association, the Army Dog Unit Northern Ireland, Royal Army Veterinary Corps, and the Army Education Corps Association. With their rope leads, that's the Army Dog Unit Northern Ireland. The Adjutant General Corps Association behind them. Alpha 5 Corps Forward Association. Troop working in Cold War era Germany, predominantly drawn from the Royal Signals. The Royal Army Chaplains Department. Chaplains non-combatant, they don't bear arms, but they do wear military uniform when in the field, offer support and ministry to soldiers and their families. Representing, of course, the many faiths now represented in the British Armed Forces. Behind them, Post 24, the Irish United Nations Veterans Association. The UN berets there. Michael Woods of the Royal Air Force, marching with Blind Veterans UK. They're led by the band of the Grenadier Guards. Blind Veterans, the national charity for ex-service men and women with severe sight loss. Founded in 1915 in response to blinded soldiers returning from the First World War. Today its beneficiaries range from National Service veterans who lost their sight later in life due to age-related conditions to Iraq and Afghanistan veterans blinded on duty. The Royal Observer Corps Association. Civilian volunteers were the eyes and ears of the Royal Observer Corps, working from nuclear bunkers across the country, known as controls. Key role in preparation for the Cold War played by the Royal Observer Corps. The Royal Air Force Ex-Prisoners of War Association. This year marks the 80th anniversary of Operation Exodus, when RAF Bomber Command used Lancaster bombers to assist with the repatriation of thousands of prisoners of war after their liberation from prisoner of war camps across Germany. Royal Air Force 31 Squadron Association. And the Canopy Club Association. The wreath carried by Jack Ruck, a World War II veteran, turns 100 today. $50,000, 100,000 jumps from the Canopy Club Association. 25,000 parachute descents shared between those marching today. Happy birthday to Jack Ruck. Canopy Club Association, followed by the Air Sea Rescue and Marine Craft Sections Club, wearing their white roll-neck sweaters. Sweaters under club blazers, the sweaters standard rig during war whilst at sea. RAF Marine Craft formed in 1918 and equipped with high-speed launches and fixed-wing aircraft to rescue pilots whose aircraft had ditched into the English Channel and the North Sea. Behind them with their blue scarves, the Women's Royal Air Force branch of the Royal Air Force Association. And this is the Royal Air Force Engineering and Airfield Construction Branch Association. Marching here, brothers David and Richard Roberts, both served in RAF Ground Engineering, and Alan and Karen Wardle, a husband and wife who served together as RAF painters and finishers. 9 Squadron Association RAF and number 100 Squadron Association. Squadron based at RAF Leeming. It was disbanded in 2022. 39 Squadron Association. The RAF Movements Association. Movers provide facilities at air bases for passengers, freight, loading services. Movers normally the first transport staff into a theatre for an operation, remain there until the end, keeping airfields running smoothly. The Royal Air Force Police Association with their white service caps. They're nicknamed the Snowdrops because of their caps. Behind them, the RAF Mountain Rescue Association and Search and Rescue Helicopter Association. The RAF Linguists Association, marching there with the Air Intelligence Club, the Air Loadmaster Association. Duke of Edinburgh wearing his Royal Wessex Yeomanry uniform as he takes the salute on Horse Guards. Royal Air Force Mountain Rescue Association, 40 marching from there. Their motto is whensoever, reflecting their commitment to helping others in distress in all weathers. Currently based at RAF Lossiemouth in Scotland, RAF Leeming in Yorkshire and RAF Valley in Wales. Royal Air Force Masra and Salalah Veterans Association, 2 air bases that were in the Sultanate of Oman, both of which closed in 1977. Royal Air Force Physical Trainers Instructors Association. The Armourers Branch, the Air Loadmaster Association, Coastal Command and Maritime Air Association of the RAF have all marched past. RAF Locking Trade Group 3 Association represents those who trained at the station close to Weston-super-Mare. Technical training including work on airframes, engines, rigging, parachute packing and later radar, radio and computer skills to airmen. Opened in 1939. RAF Trade Group 11 Association, including the trades of telegraphist, wireless operator, teleprinter operator, telephonist. Women's Royal Air Force and Women's Auxiliary Air Force Association, wearing their navy blue blazer and tartan kilts, representing women in the RAF. Women first recruited in 1918 into the Women's Royal Air Force, so that was disbanded at the end of the First World War. Auxiliary Air Force formed in 1939, women working alongside male counterparts at RAF stations in every command all over the world. Women's Royal Air Force formally merged with the RAF in 1994 on the 1st of April, marking the full integration of women into the Air Force. The War Widows Association, led by Christine Juba. His husband, Wing Commander Steve Juba, died in 2006 while serving at RAF Shawbury. Mrs. Juba herself is a veteran. She served in the Princess Mary's RAF Nursing Service and later in the RAF Reserves. Scotty's Little Soldiers, the charity founded by Nikki Scott, after seeing the impact her husband's death in Afghanistan had on her 2 young children. 35 of Scotty's Little Soldiers marching today. They've all experienced the death of a parent who served in the British Armed Forces, marked out by their yellow and black scarves. Behind them, children, families and friends of Far East prisoners of war, and civilians killed by enemy action. Children, families and friends of the Far East prisoners of war remembers in particular those who died building the Burma Railway and working in Japanese prisoner of war camps. Fighting with Pride, representing lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender members of the armed forces, and in particular the ruling by the European Court of Human Rights in September 1999, which lifted the ban on LGBTQ people serving in the UK armed forces. This is the 25th anniversary of that ban being lifted. Jeanette Russell, Graham Grady, John Beckett and Duncan Lustig-Preen, the lead cases at the European Court of Human Rights, all 4 are marching in this group today. The Polish contingent with their red and white armband, made up of all Polish veteran and military historical organisations. First Aid Nursing Yeomanry, founded in 1907, but still very active today. Professionally trained female volunteers. Fannies train every week to ensure they can provide surge relief to civil and military authorities in times of crisis. British Evacuees Association, Railway 200 Network Rail will also march past in this part of the parade. And behind the First Aid Nursing Yeomanry, the Metropolitan Police Special Constabulary, founded in 1831, volunteer police officers with their key role in that. Royal Ulster Constabulary George Cross Association. The IUC awarded the George Cross in 1999. In 1985, it was recognised as the most dangerous police force in the world in which to serve. The Ensa Memorial, the Showman's Guild of Great Britain, and the Lisbon Maru Association. An unmarked Japanese freighter sunk by a US submarine, but on board were 828 British prisoners of war being taken from Hong Kong to Japan in 1942. Representatives from the Lisbon Maru Memorial Association has marched past. The British West India Regiment Heritage Trust preserves and publicises the contributions of the West India regiments, which between 1795 and 1927, as integral parts of the British Army, defended British colonies, territories and interests, not just in the Caribbean, but around the world. People's Dispensary for Sick Animals, the RSPCA, the British Resistance Movement, Civil Defence Association, and the Post Office Fellowship for Remembrance, amongst the other groups that have marched past the Cenotaph in this column. And we move now to the final column, the youth column, the RAF Air Cadets, in their blue-grey RAF uniform. They follow in the footsteps of the Army Cadets and the Sea Cadets. Sea Cadets, the oldest uniformed youth organisation in the UK, having been formed in 1854. Their naval uniforms leading this section of the parade. It's laid for the British West India Regiment Heritage Trust. That's the Sea Cadets march. enter the final stage of this parade of 10,000. Volunteer police cadets, fire cadets, St John's Ambulance, the Scout Association. St John's Ambulance in their green and black tops, Girl Guides and the Boys Brigade behind. Girls Brigade Ministries, the Church Lads and Church Girls Brigade and the Jewish Lads and Girls Brigade. During the First World War, 535 Jewish Lads Brigade members and leaders made the ultimate sacrifice. Jewish Lads and Girls Brigade supports over 4,000 young people each year. We heard from Mervyn Kirsch earlier on, marching right at the start of this parade with Spirit of Normandy. He joined the Jewish Lads and Girls Brigade at the age of 9 and was recently made their honorary colonel. And bringing up the rear of this parade of 10,000, the YMCA, the Young Men Christians Association. Over 40,000 YMCA volunteers gave their time and left their homes and families in the Second World War to follow the troops and go wherever they were needed. And so, as these final groups of young men and women pass the Cenotaph, lit in bright sunshine this Sunday morning, this vital ritual of remembrance reaches its end for another year. It is surely essential that we continue to bear witness to the events of this day, the carefully drilled ceremonies of state, military and church, and then with a different kind of formality, the long, steady train of veterans that passes by. Moments today seem to stretch into infinity. Young men and women, centenarians, and all ages in between considering their service or remembering the lost lives of friends who were not lucky enough to return home. No one really wins with a war, 101-year-old Bomber Command veteran Michael Woods told us earlier on, as another serving soldier said to me, all any of us can ask for is to be remembered. From the Cenotaph in London, good afternoon.